And we're at the river just off of Dock and Pear Streets, and I want to show you exactly what's going on right now. A dive team is out here, and they just got one of the divers back into the water. The storm's winds were so powerful that it knocked part of the roof of this house off, sent wood like this into this car, and smashed out the back window of this other car. Now, there are some volunteers behind me getting ready to set up their table for what's going to be an incredible event here. Normally, investigators bring out their dog to go into the house and check things out, looking for clues. Yeah, Heather, right now, when you buy a pack of smokes, there's the Surgeon General's warning right here on the side of that pack, but the federal government wants more graphic images like the one you see behind me. I'm wearing these special gloves. It's just one of dozens of tools Dominion crews have on their big bucket trucks. We want to show you what it looks like on a sidewalk here. You look down right here, real slushy. You can see as I kick with my ugly boot.
Deon Guillory has a preview. He's all decked out in his Rams gear.
Yeah, Gray, there's a checklist you have to go through before the game. You've got the t-shirt, check, the bandana, check, and of course the game food. As you can see, this is what's left of the house right now. You can see part of the siding is off, and there's also debris just left on the front porch. When firefighters got here early this morning, all they saw were flames. When crews arrived on the scene, the fire was intense, and there was a lot of smoke. Tron Little could feel it in his house next door.
The flame was so big, man. The heat was intensified in my house. I felt like I was in the oven in my house.
Tron says he got up, saw the fire, and called 911.
The flame was like they were like 9 feet in the air away from the top of the roof over there at the next door. It was real high. It was catching tree limbs on fire, everything. Firefighters say part of the second floor collapsed. Another concern was a power line down on the front of the house. Dominion crews were called to check it out. They discovered the line was safe, and crews continued to try to put out the fire. Bernard Massenberg is the home's owner. He watched the whole thing from across the street.
I got a call this morning that the house was burning about 6 o'clock, so I came around in there, and this is what I found.
Bernard says he was renovating the house to rent it out. He says he's had some trouble here before, but never anything like this.
We've had some vandalism here, and Saturday I discovered that someone had been in there and tried to set the house afire.
Normally, investigators bring out their dog to go into the house and check things out, looking for clues, but because this house is so unstable, they decide to go in themselves and take samples back to the lab.
It's devastating, you know, because I was looking forward to renovating the house, making it nice.
The homeowner says he has insurance, but he's not sure if he's going to rebuild. In South Richmond, I'm Deon Guillory for NBC 12 News. This is what winter has looked like the last 2 years. Snow on the ground and on trees. But it's been several years since we've dealt with major ice. Would you take a snowstorm or an ice storm?
Hands down, snowstorm. Ice storms are the worst because ice storms are difficult to predict.
Tim Kessler is a shift manager at the Dominion Virginia Power Operations Center in Henrico. It's the heart that keeps the system pumping. An ice storm is the enemy.
Once things reach a level where they're so heavy that trees start falling, it tends to be catastrophic, and it's the bane of all utilities.
It takes hundreds of linemen like Jason Burnett to get the lights back on, working long hours before and after a storm.
In a storm situation, say you got there's no wires down, but there's trees on the line, they're laying there. Instead of going through grounding, tag testing grounding, which is a safety process we use, we can use this in lieu of that and actually remain isolated from the line while we cut the trees off.
Facing the elements can be tough. Jason shows me what it's like to experience some of the challenges they face. So I just lay it down.
Yes, sir.
And then put my feet in. I had a little trouble, but finally got the harness on. Then it was up to the bucket. I'm wearing these special gloves. It's just one of dozens of tools Dominion crews have on their big bucket trucks. Dominion says it has a plan in place just in case there is an outage because of an ice storm. Hospitals and shelters are first on the list.
Where can we do the most good with the least effort to get the most on quickly and then move to the higher work intensive areas?
Dominion says it's always best you have a plan just in case your power goes out and to report it as soon as possible. I'm Deon Guillory for NBC. The biggest concern right now is the building behind me. Students haven't had classes here because it's being renovated. So far, $500,000 has been poured into this renovation project, and the school board is concerned that it may not be ready for the January 9th start date. One by one, these students at Patrick Henry Charter School start their last day before winter break walking the neighborhood, singing Christmas carols. They currently attend classes in Woodland Heights Baptist Church. It's the building used by Patrick Henry ever since it opened in August 2010. Construction crews are hard at work on what will be the school's permanent home, a couple of blocks away.
We have so much momentum. We are moving into our permanent location. We're going to be there starting with school January 9th.
Kristen Larson is the vice president of the board of directors at Patrick Henry.
This has been 3 years in the making.
She says kids will start having classes in this building January 9th, but that date is one of several concerns for the Richmond School Board. In this letter sent by Chair Kimberly Bridges, the board is also worried the amount of money the school is raising will not be enough. Larson says there's no need for concern.
We raised nearly $1 million in grants and donations. Some of that has gone towards the building. Some of that has gone towards startup equipment because we're a new school.
The board is also concerned with the turnover rate of teachers and staff. Larson says the turnover rate is normal for any new school.
We're going through normal growing pains that any new school, especially a charter school in Virginia, where it's very challenging, would go through. But we're moving in a positive direction.
At this point, the school board doesn't have a backup plan just in case this building's not ready for kids after winter break. The school's charter is due for renewal after next school year. Reporting in South Richmond, I'm Deon Guillory for NBC 12.